My name's Larry Lester, and back in the 80s, I went to Shermer High School with Congressman John Bender. Now, back then, John would not be voted most likely to be behind the grassroots effort to elect America's first independent president. John would probably be voted most likely to be behind bars. So you can imagine what it was like on Monday morning when John Bender showed up hand in hand with the most popular girl in high school, Claire Standish. And people thought this was an April Fool's Day joke, but April Fool's Day came and went, and they were still together. And it created quite a stir with, Claire's rich, popular friends. And they did not like John. And they told Claire, hey, it's either him or us. And she chose him. And they made her life hell. And, one thing you know about John Bender, he'll fight you. And he fought them. And he caused a revolution at Shermer High School. He taught us, the rest of the students, that we didn't have to idolize these rich, popular kids. That we could look to ourselves. And, we didn't have to go to football games. We could go to the chess club matches. And, when they walked down the halls, we didn't have to, look at them with, adoration. That we could turn our backs on them. And it changed. It really did cause a revolution. And it created quite a stir. And the principal, came to John. And he threatened him not only with expulsion, but he threatened him with physical violence. And John was smart enough to have a tape recorder on him. And he recorded this. And to this day, he keeps a recording of that with him because that tape changed everything. He played it for the school board, and that principal had to resign. And John and Claire became, media hits. They were featured in magazines. They were on television being interviewed, and they were really quite the young power couple. Well, Claire went off to Stanford, and John, he didn't have the money or the grades to go to college, so he went to the Army instead for 4 years. And when he got out, he went to law school. And he became a lawyer, and a damn good one. And he was not willing to back down. He would fight, and he was winning case after case, and people were taking notice of this. And John was approached by both Democrats and Republicans to run for Congress. But John said he wanted to run as an independent. And they both parties said, you'll never make it, but don't tell John, what he can't do. And he showed them. He was elected independent congressman. And when he got to Congress, he started a thing called the Breakfast Club. And the first Saturday of every month, he would take out 2 liberal and 2 conservative congressional members, and they would have breakfast together. And they would just get to know each other a little better. And it became the hottest meal ticket in D.C. And what John Bender was able to accomplish in these Breakfast Club sessions was he showed these representatives that they could talk to each other. Yes, they could be firm and they could be tough, but they could also be civil to each other and work things out for the American people. I think John Bender, as an independent, is in a unique position as a political leader to unite this country once again. And I believe he's got a legitimate shot to get this job done, but he's going to need your help. Remember, as an independent, John doesn't have the backing of a major political party and their political machine. And he doesn't even have a lot of paid consultants on his staff as well. In fact, when John grew a mustache, his staff told him to shave it immediately because people didn't trust politicians with mustaches. So John went out and he grew a beard. And that beard is starting to show some gray. And John reads the headlines. He knows the troubles this country's having right now. And it'd be real easy for him as Generation X heads into retirement to, fade away and hand it off to a new generation. But John Bender is a fighter. And he feels like he has one more fight in him. And standing by his side, as always, is Claire. People didn't think they would make it past April Fool's Day, and if you ask Claire, every day with John is April Fool's Day. And I know Claire Bender will be an amazing First Lady, as John will be an amazing president. A president that will fight for you. And I know this because when I was in high school, I was bullied relentlessly. And then one day it stopped, and people were actually nice to me. And I asked them, well, what changed? And they said John Bender came to them and said if anybody ever messed with Larry Lester again, they were going to have to answer to him. In high school, John Bender stood up and fought for me. Please let him stand up and fight for you today, America. Hey, it's Russ. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel because we're going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of when these kids had detention on March 24th, 1984. That's going to be in 2024. And please stay tuned for more videos and updates on what's going on for the anniversary.